Hi, welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful week and you're ready for another Insider. This week, we will close our month of June with late payments. It's the last installment about pricing and the financial aspect of being a translator. We will be talking about the different aspects of late payments, how to address the issue, how to protect yourself against the issue, and all the things that you can do and how you can do it. So stick around, let's talk late payments. And let's start this new insider with late payments. It's something that no one wants to talk about, but we have to. And there's a lot of things to talk about in this regard. And late payments, there's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of things that are done in a way that should not be done. And today we are going to talk about everything. We are going to expose this issue and talk about it in all sorts of aspects and address it and try to get a solution for everyone. Let's start by saying that sometimes translators tend to think that agencies will be late payers and they will pay late, etc., etc. Well, that is not the case. There is, as I said, and I've been saying this several times, there's good and bad agencies. There's obviously those that are so-called bottom feeders, and they will not only pay you late, but pay you nothing basically, and that's not a good option, obviously. But there is good agencies, and if you have a very good niche market, you will even find agencies that are specific to that particular specialization, to that particular niche. And those will obviously be happy to pay a little bit more for your expertise. And if there is a good, again, and I've been writing about this, and I also been talking about this in my videos, if there is a good communication between you and the client, and a payment term is agreed to between the parts, between the agency and you, I don't think there is any reason for you to think that the agency will not comply. Obviously, and this happens also with other corporate clients, and sometimes you have direct clients that are corporate clients, be it corporations that you work with, and obviously in that particular case, it's quite likely that they will ask you to sign a contract and the payments will be done monthly. This is common practice. So I wouldn't think that would be a late payment. I would just think it's part of the terms and conditions, and it's part of regular business when you talk about corporate clients, either agencies or companies that you work with. Obviously, I'm not saying that if you are going to have a one-off project with a company, it is acceptable that they pay you in 30 days. I'm not saying that, but usually if you work with a company and you have regular work with that company, a regular cooperation with that company, then it is quite appropriate, and sometimes happens that the company asks you to sign a contract, and in that contract they specify that they will pay at the end of the month, and that's common practice, and it's not late payment, or it's nothing wrong with that. The same with agencies. Most agencies will pay as well at the end of the month. I would honestly, I wouldn't accept anything other than that, because I think more than 30 days would be unacceptable, because obviously we also have to pay our bills. So I would accept a 30-day payment term. I would not accept anything above that. But it's one of the subjects that people usually have difficulty dealing with, and some colleagues have this thing of going into public forums such as pros.com or Facebook or other social media pages and write negative comments about that agency or corporate client or particular client anyway. I'm not saying with that you should not have blacklists, like for example the blue board on pros.com. That is a very good tool for translators, and it's a very good tool for us to know what is happening out there and what experiences other colleagues have had with different agencies or different clients. That is a very good thing. What I think is inappropriate is when we go online and we put extremely negative comments. We can expose, we can say, I've been working with such and such, and this is my experience, but without that negativity, without being nasty, because that will obviously cast a little cloud of darkness on top of you, and other clients will obviously read that, because most of these forums are public and they can read it, and they will see you as a very negative person, and they think, well, I don't want to work with this person, because if something goes wrong, if I'm late for some reason, this is what will happen to me. So it is possible to say that a particular client has not paid. However, I would refrain from a lot of negativity and a lot of negative comments that are not going to take you anywhere, and in fact are going to be read by other colleagues and are going to put you in a category that you don't want to be in. So this is the first thing. The second thing is the importance of terms and conditions. I think I have said this before. It is very important that at the beginning of your career, when you start your business, you set your terms and conditions. And in that terms and conditions, one of the clauses can be about late payment. If you have terms and conditions in place, and if you set that for you to start working, the client needs to approve your quote and your terms and conditions, you can go wrong, because if there is set there that if the client does not pay on time, and you can send them a warning if they keep not paying, you can charge a late fee of such and such, then it is easier to apply that late fee. One of the things that I also warn you about is that if you want some translators agencies or translators associations, rather, I'm sorry for the mistake, have a template for terms and conditions. However, I would not recommend you to use templates from agencies from overseas, because those templates are done with the law of that jurisdiction. So with the law of the country where those terms and conditions or where that association is from. Your country may have different regulations, your jurisdiction is obviously different. So don't do it, or if you want to do it, then have a lawyer in your own country having a look and changing it for you. So terms and conditions is extremely important. So it sets your rules, it sets what you want, and the client already knows that if they don't pay on time, a late fee will apply. And then it is the communication. It is very important to have great communication with your clients. Be polite and always try to solve the matters amicably. And this is, as I said before, if you need to sign a contract and the client offer you a 30-day payment, for example, for corporate clients or an agency, don't think that is far-fetched or it's ridiculous, because it is actually common practice in business. So that is not that bad, and you can easily accept. And you can also charge a late fee if they get to that set time and they don't pay. So it is always possible to set rules in regards to late payments. But when you receive a late payment, instead of going and again with an email that may look a little negative or pushy, you can just send a polite email reminding the customer, just telling about just a quick reminding that my invoice such and such still outstanding. Please see attached statement. You can even prepare a statement, or you can send another copy of the invoice, and then you can say, please find attached a copy of the invoice in case you haven't received it. And then you can say this is payable blah blah blah, or if you set a new date, or please pay as soon as possible to avoid late payment surcharges, something like that. But be amicable. Don't really be negative, because again, it will damage your relationship with your client, and it will bring you more problems rather than solutions. If we have good communication, even the difficult situations can be resolved in a much better way than if we just go for the negativity, go for the aggressive behavior. And sometimes that's what we see online, and it's not good. It's not good for translators, it's not good for the clients, it's not good for anyone. And that's all for today. I hope you really liked this last Insider of July. Next month there will be more interesting videos to come up. And I hope it was useful for you to get ideas on how to deal with late payments. As I said, it's a very complicated issue and no one wants to deal with them. But it is a fact that sometimes we are faced with a late payment, and obviously as business people and as entrepreneurs, we really need to address this in a professional way and in a business fashion. So I think I have explained what I think should be done. But if you have any questions, if something that I have said may have not been very clear, and you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Or if you have any suggestions, if you have had an experience with late payments and you have your own way of solving it, please share as well. I'll be very happy to hear about that. You know that what I always say, it's with the sharing of ideas that we are all growing. So please share, and put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new Insider every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next week. Thank you. Bye.